Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Saturday Anything Goes. And we're sticking with the Christmas theme, but we're going to do a little change up on it. Last week, if you joined me, I debuted a new stamp set to me, which was Christmas Gleaming, and we also looked at Peaceful Boughs. And I'm going to be using both of those in tonight's card because they just go together so well. But instead of the traditional holiday red and green, we're going back to the blues. Yep, I'm going back to my frosty colors. And as a part of that, we'll be using our punch from the suite. I'm just going to be using the larger one here. And then I'll also be using some of the new Delicata silvery shimmer ink. So I hope you guys are ready because this is going to be a quick one tonight. Let me bring in my project pack here. All my pieces and parts. We're going to do a little bit of stamping and we're just going to have some fun. No die cutting since we're using the punch. So I'm kind of happy about that because that way I don't have to worry about the desk wobbling, because I won't be using the big shot. All right, so I have a lot of little pieces here. I'm going to put aside so I don't lose them. But what we're going to be working with is some Night of Navy cardstock. That's going to be our card base. I've got a top folding card, and there's a piece of white for the inside, so we'll put that to one side. I don't know if you've had a chance to see our Mercury Glass DSP. Oh my gosh. It is just beautiful. So we're going to use that for one of the ornaments. And then I can't stay away from my Feels Like Frost DSP. So we'll be using that as well. But we're going to cut an ornament out of that too. All right, so let's put some stuff aside here and we'll just get cracking. I think the first thing that I will do is to punch out an ornament. And when you're using the Mercury Glass DSP, there's two different patterns. I've chosen this crackled one. And as you can see, just like with true crackled paint, you have some areas that have hardly any of the color on them, and others it just shows it like cracked paint. So you've got different ways that you can decide to use it. If I wanted to kind of preserve that area where there's not very much color, then I can punch it there. If I want it to have more of that crackled glass look, then I could punch it there. And that is what I think I want to do. So we'll just punch one out. Whew, that one didn't want to punch out. Let me try that again. I think I wasn't holding my punch right. So we'll just line that back up. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. So we've got that done. And then we're also going to use some of the Feels Like Frost. And this was a part that was left over out of when I cut my DSP mat. So I can, again, choose how much I want. Do I want most of the, or a lot of the solid color to show through with just a little bit of the leafy pattern, or do I want it to be mostly the leafy pattern? I'm going to, I think, do it this way because I love the contrast between they're not called leaves. What are they called? Anyway, needles. Thank you. Needles. And I want to preserve that, but have a good bit of the background color showing through. I just think that makes it look really nice. Hi, Jewel. Thanks for joining tonight. So that's all we need our punch for. I can put that away. And let's get to doing some stamping. So, where am I? There we go. What I wanted to do was to have these two baubles or ornaments line up just like that. And it's really very pretty. And if I put it against the mat, it looks nice, but they just kind of look like they're hanging out there in space. So what we're going to do is use our Peaceful Boughs as a way to fill in some of this area to make it look more natural. All right, so I'm just going to bring this in, and this is where my Delicata ink comes in. So we'll just ink this up. And what I really love about the Delicata ink on a dark colored cardstock is the effect that it gives. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to stamp it like this. How do I want to do this? I want to do it, I think, like this first. But if I hold this up, maybe you can see some of the branches or the needles are stamped a little bit heavier and some are lighter. And I just really loved the way that looked. So let me ink it up again, because I do want to have some coming down this way as well. And then I'm going to pull these out and lay them down, because I think we're going to want a few more on there, but it always helps if you can do your layout, just so you see where else you might need some. So that's about where they're going to sit. I think I want branches down here in the corner, just to fill in that area. So we'll bring this over, and I think I want to do it right about like that. Because when you're hanging ornaments on a Christmas tree, you end up putting them on, some of them on inside branches, so they're like tucked between. I'm liking that, but again, I think we need some down here as well. And what the heck? We'll just come in with this. And how do I want to do this? How about, I don't want it to look too matchy-matchy, but let's do it there. Okay, and I think that's it for stamping with the Delicata ink. And I love it because you can see a bit of the silver shimmer, but it's not bright, 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 which is good because I don't want it to detract from the ornaments themselves. Hi, Catherine. I'm so happy that you found us. All right. So, like I said, this card's going to go pretty darn fast because we're at the assembly stage already. What I'm going to do is, and I cut out the DSP panel, which is from Feels Like Frost, with the largest of the stitch rectangle dies. And then this is cut out from the, I think it's the next largest one. So I decided having stitching on both panels was the way to go. Let's adhere this down. I know one of these days I will work with the foiled side. That would be pretty punched out, wouldn't it? So many options. I'm starting to do my Christmas cards, and I'm so in love with all the different stamp sets and DSP that I've seen so far for the holidays that I'm not going to make all my holiday cards the same. I'm just going to make cards, and then at the, when it comes time to mail them out, decide who gets what then. Okay, and then we're going to have this here. We'll be popping that up, but before we do that, let's go ahead and arrange our ornaments. And another reason that I stamped out the Mercury glass with mostly the crackled finish on it and few blank areas is because I'm hoping that way my glue isn't going to show all that much. But just in case, I'm only going to glue in the areas that I think it will be covered in. And I have quite a few of them. It's going to be fine. It is a very slick surface though, so you want to be sure and put enough glue on there to make it last or make it stick. And I'm going to bring out my reverse tweezers because That way I can kind of hold it up like this and decide where I want it. I've got a branch here, and I'm going to say that's about where I want that ornament. Hold a little bit of pressure on it. Try not to move it. And then we'll just let that sit. I also want to do this ornament, but you know, I was thinking this might be fun popped up. Why not have a lot of dimension on our card? So that's what we're going to do. Bring up my dimensionals. I know I'm using quite a few, but I don't want it to sag any of the places. I'm also going to take a little piece and put it in the very top. All right. Oh, come on, get over there. There we go. Peel these off. I hope everybody's having a pleasant weekend. We've had some cooler weather. The mornings have been just wonderful. Of course, now I have to worry about that dadburn hurricane. I was hoping Dorian wouldn't make that turn so quickly, but looks like it may be headed for the East Coast, and Georgia's right there. All right, so here we go. I have another branch there that I think I can work with, so I'm going to place this one down just a little bit and over to the side. Okay, so now we've got our ornaments there. But Linda, you say they're still kind of floating out there. There's nothing anchoring them to the branches. Well, remember my little bitty pieces? So these are small pieces of silver foil that I have saved. Yes, I know. I save all of my foil pieces. So what I thought we would do is just make them as like silver strings that our baubles are hanging from. So I want it to go, and actually I wonder, I can lift that up just a little bit maybe and tuck this in. Yeah. All right, so I've got that. Now hold it down a little bit and make it look like, come here, you don't move. Thank you. I tell you, with foil, you just got to be careful. And now, probably should have cut it before I tried to do this. That's okay. I'll stick my tongue out. It'll work. If not, we'll just cut another piece. I think I got it though. Push that down just a tad, and there we go. So now that anchors it to that branch. Since this one is popped up, this ought to be a heck of a lot easier. And I think I'm going to make my string a little bit longer. So we'll take it to this branch right here. That's how they look on our tree, right? We've got long strings and short strings, and half the time I'm fighting with mine on the tree to get them to be long enough to hang on the branch correctly. All right, so there we have it. Now we can take and, should we pop this up too? I'm thinking we pop that one up too, which I probably should have done before I put my ornaments on, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Can never have too much dimension in my book. Even if I'm mailing, you know, that's what they make extra postage for, right? When you have a special card, you don't mind paying a little extra if you're mailing it out. I don't know. All right. Oop, one more. Okay, here we go. Pardon my head if it gets in the way. Just trying to eyeball this and lay it down gently. I can already tell that's crooked. That's better. All right, so far, that's what we've got. we only have one more thing to do, and that is to put a sentiment on it. And you know, I tried using Whisper White, and it just was too stark. I wanted the silver to take the show on this one. So what I ended up doing was I cut out, stamped the greeting on some of our Feels Like Frost, and just cut it out with the die that is in, let's see, which one is it in? Must be in the Peaceful Boughs. Yep, this die right here from Peaceful Boughs. That one's going to come in really handy on a lot of cards. It has these little holes in it so that you could string ribbon through it. If I had some really thin, kind of like baker's twine consistency of silver, I would do that. I tried it with our metallic edged ribbon that is white with the silver edging, but it was introducing white, and I really didn't want any white in here. So I think what we'll do is just attach this down, and maybe I'll put a couple of rhinestones where those openings are. And since I brought this ornament down quite a bit, I think we're going to go ahead and put our sentiment in the lower left. And we'll have it hanging off of the design panel. So I'll need to put some dimensionals down at the bottom, but I can glue the top. So let me just do that right now. And for this, I can use my edges. That'll be good. Make sure I get them on the right spot. So we'll put those right here. And then I think I might need some on this side as well because it hangs off, and I really don't want it to sag at all. So I'll just use some of these halves to do that. So I can put one there, and then one more. Well, come on, let go. Doesn't want to play nice, so we'll just pick a different one. And what I'm doing, if you notice, is I'm just making sure that I don't have them over that hole because I don't want them peeking through. All right, so is that going to work? That's perfect. All right. Do this. For the rest of it, we'll just use our liquid glue. I really do wish I had some silver twine, because that would be so, so pretty. But we make do with what we have. All right, so our greeting, not quite down that far, I think, right there. Greeting is going to go right there. And now let's see what we have in our embellishment box to finish that off with. Cap my glue before it dries out. And I did stamp that in Night of Navy. All right, so here's our goodie box. And I really think rhinestones is going to be the way to go. Yep, that's what I'm going to use. I could use the frosty ones, but no, you know, I like these. It reminds me of when you have the tree lit and how you've got little things that sparkle. So these will be perfect. So put one over, come on you, one over each hole. That one doesn't seem to have enough adhesive, so let's try and grab one that does. Oh, for pity's sake. Do I have a magnetic personality tonight or something? There we go. Huh, that one doesn't want to stick either. Come on, you. All right. Must not have pressed it down hard enough. So that, I think, is all we need to do for the outside. But since we've only used about 20 minutes, let's just quickly finish off the inside. So I'll get out my insert. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So it'll leave a nice little frame. But let's take our Boughs stamp and our Delicata ink. Although you certainly could do it in Night of Navy too. What do you guys think? Would Night of Navy look better? I know it does seem a shame to cover that DSP, right, Catherine? I don't have any blue gems, unfortunately. Hey, Amy, thanks for joining. All right, I think, let me just do a test run here. How will this look on white? Just go stamp on the back. Boop. Oh, you know, that's really subtle. I think I like it. So why don't we do that? So we need an inside sentiment. And I like the one from Peaceful Boughs. May the spirit of peace gently fill your heart and home in this most wonderful time of year. So that's the one we're going to use. And I want to stamp it before I start stamping the boughs. So let me just, and this we're going to go ahead and do in Night of Navy. So we'll have some nice contrast on the inside. All right. Hopefully I can get this on straight. Again, pardon my head if it gets in the way. Oh, that's crooked, I can already tell. Oh no, came out okay. Must be my stamp labels on crooked then. All right, so I like that. Now let's go with our boughs. Don't want to put too many on there. We're not really needing to cover all the space like we were on our design panel. So let's ink this up. And let's put some here. That's so pretty. And then we'll do just a little bit down here, just for balance. I'll move this over a little bit. And having it come off the page like that makes it look natural. So hopefully you can see the silver shine. Oh, that is just pretty, pretty, pretty. All right, we'll glue this down. One thing you do want to be careful of when you're using the Delicata ink, it is not an instant dry like the Stampin' Up! Regular ink pads are. So it will smudge just a tiny bit if you run your fingers over it. I haven't had it create a big problem, but still, I'm going to be careful when I'm putting this down. Don't want any smudging. All right, here we go. Again, leaving just a thin border. All right, gang, we are done. So I really love how the Mercury glass looks punched out as an ornament. And I think that having the light blue contrast is really pretty, and it just, I think, makes everything cohesive. So if you don't have these stamp sets yet, consider adding them to your list because they just go together beautifully as you've seen. And who doesn't love the new punches we have, right? Because punches make our life easy. All right. So that's everything that I wanted to show you guys tonight. Let me see who else joined us. Hello, Vicki. Yeah, Night of Navy. That's why I did the sentiment, inside sentiment in Night of Navy, because you're right. It definitely shows up much better on Whisper White. But then I think I liked also having the silver bows repeated from on the front. And you know what? I'm going to really be dating myself here, but when I was growing up, my mom actually had one of those silver pom-pom trees with the color wheel. Yes, we did. And so when I started stamping the bows in silver, it just kind of made me flash back to that. I hear that they were popular a couple of years ago as well. So you never throw anything out. It always comes back around. All right, well, if you do have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I promise I will get right back to you. I'll be uploading this on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow. It just depends on my finicky network connection here. But do look for it there. I will have all dimensions and all of the items that were used. If you need to purchase any of these and you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please let me know. Leave a comment, and I'll be more than happy to get you out a catalog and help you with your order. So that's it. I hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye now.